And now, live.
Live.
We're live. Good
We're live.
morning, Miss Lindsay Marder. How are you?
I am doing great. I am so excited to kind of be back in Oz. Almost there.
Almost. Yeah, you're
Almost.
close. So we met a long time ago back in the land of digital marketer, and so I'm just going to just minimize the screen here because there's a slight time delay, and I'm seeing it on another screen. There you go. We met first through digital marketer probably 4 years ago, I think. Now it's been a while, and of course our journeys have both taken us through and beyond digital marketer, and that brought you out to us about 18 months ago. I think you came out and did the first event
Yes.
for us. Was that right?
Yeah, Molly and I came and we did a content and traffic workshop and got to see kangaroos and
Yes.
koalas and teach content and traffic. And it was
Yeah.
everything I wanted.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So we're very excited that we're going to be able to get you back out to Australia again.
Me too.
And we are uh, really on the countdown now. We're down to like 60 days or something until you'll be here in Australia. And we thought today would be a great opportunity for you to talk to our followers. For those that know you, obviously it'll be fantastic refresher on content. For those that have never heard of you and never heard of DM, which we have got a few on the call today, we've got a lot of new people. It'll be a great opportunity for them to understand probably more about our DMDU community, which is, of course, is Digital Marketers Down Under, and it's all about our shared passions, really, of helping people understand how to demystify digital marketing and turn it into something that they can help grow their business. And for you, that's all about content, and in particular, content that converts. And it's one of my biggest passions because I just see people creating so much content that just keeps them in the friend zone, never gets them up into that conversion. And when I work with businesses, they say to me all the time, I just don't even know how to do content. I don't even know where to start. How do I make it happen? It stresses me. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a writer. But Lindsay Marder, you can turn anyone into a content queen, can't you?
I can certainly try.
Well, this morning you're going to help us understand how we can get that knot out of our stomach, and how we can turn content into something that can actually help us make money instead of cost it. So I'll hand over the screen to
Yeah.
you. We're going to turn our cameras off so that we try and stream a little bit faster. So
Yeah.
I'm off. I'm still here. I'm going to mute myself so I don't bother anyone. If I've got any questions, I'll jump in, Lindsay, and I'll also be facilitating the chat bot. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask Lindsay, just drop it in the chat function on the bottom of the screen, and I'll interrupt her and ask, or if I think it's something that we best cover it at the end, we will. We are recording this and we will share the recording, but also stick on board because we have a very, very special Lindsay Marder only offer for DMDU at the end of the presentation. So Lindsay Marder, it's over to you.
Yeah. So I love how you set that up, that it's people get in a knot about content because they either don't know how to do content at all, or they know that they need it. There's so many people that are trying to make digital marketing work for their business, and they're just told over and over and over again, they need content. They know they need content, so they're just on a hamster wheel trying to think of anything they can write about. And most of the time, what I see a lot of people doing is creating content that doesn't have intention. They're just putting something out there. And then they're looking at it like, okay, I made content, now people will come. And that's not the case either. And that can be really frustrating and super discouraging. And so the place that I look at most of the time when my clients or my students come to me and say, we're creating all this content, but no one's clicking. It's not getting any organic traffic. It's not getting any clicks on ads or anything like that, is I look at the topic, because the topic is everything. Because believe it or not, if you have a business that is selling something or a service, or providing some sort of help to somebody somewhere, you can't just write about what you want to write about. You can't, whether it's video, whatever it's on, it has to be about what they want to hear about. So this presentation is going to be about the very first place that you start when you're creating any kind of content. And it's about sourcing the topics that your audience, which means your audience, your prospect, your reader, and your eventual customer, what they actually want to read about. And that's going to
interrupt you there, Lindsay, because I think that is the most critical thing. If you only get one thing out of this webinar today, it's realizing that you are not writing about yourselves, you are writing the story that your customers will be able to tell. And I think, is that what it is for you, Lindsay?
Yes, absolutely. It's for me, the way I said this to Russ the other day in an email, is that it's writing about the stuff that will make your reader say, oh my gosh, they're in my brain. And it makes them nod along and think they get me. And it makes them want to convert and become a customer and give you money, but it also makes them want to celebrate you and tell their friends about you and become a fan.
And there's that fantastic saying that I've heard a lot that is, tell a person a story and you'll capture their attention. If you can help them tell a new story about themselves, you'll capture their hearts. And I think that's the goal of content. And I have to thank my friend Mr. Dice for that quote. But yeah. So anyway, sorry to interrupt. I couldn't help myself.
No, I'm so glad. Yes.
Off you go.
Yes. So that's where we're going to be in. And just to reiterate, hi, I am Lindsay Marder. I used to be Digital Marketer's managing editor for about 5 years. My background is in the publishing industry. And so if you think blog posts are hard, books are a lot harder. So I got my start in books in all different industries, ghostwriting, technical books, fiction, nonfiction, historicals, all of those. So I've been working in content for quite a while. I am a swipe file queen. If there is one more thing I can leave you all with today, it is to create your own swipe files and make it your passion to build on those. Go ruin people's targeting. Sign up for lists with a junk email or a swipe email that you have no intention of buying from, as frustrating as that is for all of us selling something. Look for inspiration anywhere you can. So I have tons of blog posts, emails, banner ads, a huge swipe file, and everyone here should have one too. Like Sonia said, I came out to Australia last year, and I'm now a kangaroo enthusiast, which is why I'm coming back this year.
Yeah. Oh, dear. You and your kangaroos.
I love my kangaroos. And I also see the world in shades of SEO. So I love looking for opportunities to improve things. And you guys will get to see a little bit of that today, because one of the things that a lot of people don't differentiate between is a content marketer and an SEO. But really, a lot of the work goes hand in hand. And so for some people, when they're thinking about what am I going to write about, that SEO component and the way you think really can come in handy. And so for me, some of the tools that I use to grow SEO for clients really it informs the way I think about and look at content and email and everything like that, and business ideas in general. So there will be one thing today that I share with you guys, one tool that is 100% free, that if you don't have it set up, you can set it up today and it'll start gathering data, and you will start to see immediate conversions in the next content you create. And my email's down there if you have any questions.
Cool.
So, yeah. So getting right into the meat of things, whatever content you're creating, it really always has 4 purposes. We like to say 3, but I think educate and inspire can be 2 separate things. And it doesn't need to be all 4, but if you can make it that way, cool. But really, content is meant to entertain, inform, educate, or inspire. And content that converts the best is content that alludes to a solution, it teaches a lesson, and it creates a desire for more information, because really that desire is what drives people to the next step. So that's what your content is trying to create, whether it's a blog post, a video, an email, a social post, anything. You're trying to create desire for more information. And a lot of things that people don't realize about content is that they might be measuring it wrong. And so we're going to discuss on here what conversion means, because that's important. If your If you're measuring your blog posts on a sale, you're measuring them wrong. If you're measuring your organic social media posts on sale, you're measuring it wrong. You have to be really clear about the intention of your content and what conversion means to you. It doesn't always mean buy. It really just means taking the next ideal step that you want them to take. And so great content really just creates an open to buying mindset. And we'll talk a little bit now about brands that are doing it right. So I'm going to share a few of my favorites. And what I want to really point out here is how simple this is. So if you guys take something away from this presentation about how you can be doing content and you're really knotted up about how it should be done right, remember to keep it simple. So this is a brand called FrameBridge. If you're not on FrameBridge's email list, I suggest you immediately go subscribe, get pixeled. Their ads, their social, their email, it's all just phenomenal. But these are two amazing posts that they have. 5 easy ways to design a gallery wall and how to display framed photos at your wedding. They have a ton of posts that are this simple. These are blog posts, and then they turn them into pre-sale articles. So articles that they run to traffic and then transition directly into a product offering. So it's really like a sales letter. It's like a bonus sales letter with value at the top. But this is so simple. 5 easy ways to design a gallery wall. It speaks to the benefit immediately. It talks about how long it's going to take, what the value is. They get 5 ways to do this. And it speaks to the difficulty, easy. And then how to display framed wedding photos at your wedding. And it shows great examples using their product. So in this way, this is for an e-commerce brand, and they're creating different ways to sell their products because their customer is buying framed photos. But how many photos do you need in your house? So they're creating different ways for people to use their product. And what I also love about FrameBridge, and it goes back to what Sonia said, is their tagline is something along the lines of, we're not framing photos, we're framing memories. And that's so powerful. Oh, it's so powerful. It is so powerful. Like they're creating memories. And so here, they're helping themselves be part of your big day at your wedding. They're helping you design your house. This article for me on the left here about the gallery wall, it spoke so much to me because I am terrible. I'm terrible at design in my apartment. I want everything. And this, I knew I wanted a gallery wall, but I didn't know what it would look like. And so I searched how to create a gallery wall. And while I may not buy every frame from FrameBridge, it certainly makes it a lot easier for me to make that buying decision if they're showing me their frames in the examples and then just giving me a button to click underneath. And so you want to be thinking about how simple you can do it and how people are using your product, your service, what the end result they get out of your product would be. Another great one is Third Love. So this is a bra company. In the next slide, I'll show you their most powerful post that they created, and you'll just be blown away by how simple it is. But think about how they take the contrarian position here. 3 bra mistakes you might be making. 10 bra tips we wish mom told us. For this first one, if you're a woman of any certain age or of any certain chest size, you've probably been wearing a bra for a really, really long time. How hard could it possibly be to take care of a bra, to put a bra on, any of those things? I'm going to click that just because I want to know, am I doing it wrong? And so even if you're doing it right, that gives you a little bit of a boost of a confidence that you're doing it, but it's for something they're speaking directly to their market and what kind of, how people should be using their products. So if you're thinking about content that you want to be creating, think about how people should be using your products. A lot of times marketers make the mistake of only putting how-tos in the in the packaging instructions. So they wait until somebody has actually purchased their product and received it to tell them how to use it, or in the follow-up email. And that leaves so much opportunity because people want to know how to use something before they buy it. And since no one else is doing it, you want to put yourself out there to show how easy it is to use it, or to show how many steps it takes, because that could really, really change a decision in the next step someone takes with your company. And then
Sorry, Lindsay, a great tip on that I got from somebody was using your frequently asked questions by your customers as the start of these sorts of posts, because it's the dumb questions that your customers ask you every day that are probably the content that will help you sell it.
Yeah, you called out one of my slides. So that's going to be in here.
Sorry, Lindsay.
No, that's great. I love that. It validates me. And so this next one, so I want everyone to look at how simple this is. This article is called How to Put on a Bra. And this is really the article that put Third Love on the map. So they were a great bra company before this, but they posted an article called How to Put on a Bra. And that was because on the outside of their bras, the tags that came on their bras was a little 3-step graphic that said how to put on a bra. And women all over, how often when you buy clothes of any kind, you just rip the tags off and keep moving. But they put out this article of how to put on a bra, and it got picked up by Huffington Post, Women's Wear Daily, all these different websites, because women read it and said, I've been putting a bra on my entire life. And that's amazing. And so this article went viral because everyone said, well, I know how to put on a bra, but I'll go ahead and read this anyway. And then they said, I've been doing it wrong. And so how often, so if you're selling blankets, why don't you put a post out that's how to fold a blanket? Because there has to be a specific way to fold a blanket that keeps the tags tucked in, that preserves it for more use. I mean, if I'm a company that sells bedding, I'm putting out an article that says how to fold a fitted sheet. Because for me right now, I think it's just balling it up and shoving it in a closet.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so if you tell me the exact right way and you tell me how simple it is, I'm going to read that. And that's probably going to go really, really, really viral. So a good place to look at this kind of thing, if you're selling something that you're like, no, it's just so dang simple, I can't do it, is look on WikiHow. One of the best examples that Russ and I like to use is that there is seriously an article on wikihow.com about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, people want simplicity, and it's these kinds of things that other brands aren't doing. Victoria's Secret never put out an article on how to put on a bra. They've just assumed their audience knows how to do it. So this article went viral, and it's really what put Third Love on the map. So I want you guys to be thinking in simplistic terms this way.
It's incredible when you break it down like that. Something as simple as putting on a bra, you know.
Yeah, and how crazy it can make such a difference. This is a company called Elvis. They are an investment service for women, specifically women. When I get to Australia, they're actually in my presentation. I'll dive into how they took on this for women symbol and did so without being super radical and offending men, but why they planted their flag there. But they do amazing content marketing and amazing content creation. And look how simple these headlines are. What to do if your job doesn't offer a 401k. How many people do you think are Googling that? In the US, especially, a lot, because we're going through a situation where no one's offering benefits. No one even wants to offer employment. They all want to offer freelance opportunities. And yet we have our parents' generation telling us, you need to save, you need a 401k, you need retirement set up. So there's a whole generation of women Googling what to do if your job doesn't offer 401k. And then there's a whole other generation of that's continuous. This is a generation that's never going to run out, or people graduating. So smart money moves for new college grads. This is so simple. And it's speaking directly to who they want to target and to what their audience is looking for. So think about that. And then this is another client in the digital information space, Gabby Bernstein. She is amazing. She is wonderful. And she sells digital products, books, courses, live events. but mostly on her website, her strategy is to get people into her continuity course through her lead magnet, which is meditation albums. And so Gabby has this guide here. It's a blog post called Beginner's Guide to Meditation. And in it, I love that she seeds other contents. So she creates videos and puts them in these blog posts. She shows her other products. So up there on the right corner is her card deck that goes with her books and things like that. But she's creating content that speaks directly to what her audience is looking to do. Gabby's audience are people who are new to this self-care arena. People who are saying, you know what, I'm not as happy as I'd like to be. How can I do this? I'm angrier than I want to be. I want to meditate. How do I meditate? And so Gabby is who they find when they go searching. And so she's creating content that solves those problems, but it's such simple content. And so we'll talk about this. Now we'll go into a little bit more on how to source these, but these are some of the best types of content that you want to create that are set up best for conversion. It's listicles, because you're just creating a ton of authority by giving people just so much resource. How to, another one for creating authority, you're explaining a process to someone, and especially if you are educating or informing them, that's definitely going to lead them to want to take the next step in a conversion with you. Case studies, showing them how you already helped somebody from A to Z, or like Sonia was talking about, if they can take the story and see themselves in it, the hero's journey, that's even more encouraging. Because really what you want to do with your marketing is not celebrate yourself and how you took them from A to Z. You want to talk about where they started and where they ended, and you were just, you were there to help them put the training wheels on in the beginning. And personal stories. This could be about you. So I'm going to give you guys some prompts after I tell you guys where to source your ideas yourselves. And I have a whole slide in there that's about personal stories, because people, I mean, Sonia, you know this more than anybody, that people want to connect with more than just a brand these days.
Definitely.
Yeah, they need to connect to a why. They need a mission. They need to know that there's someone behind the company. Like, no one is saying, I give my loyalty to Walmart anymore. They're saying, no, like Molly is a great example. I know a lot of people here are familiar with Molly, and she buys the very, very, very best dog food for her little dog, Larry. And she now buys a dog food called Side by Side. I know what it's called because she has told me about it so many times.
And I know what it's called.
Right? And it's made by a woman who lives in Telluride, in the town Molly was just living in, who owns a small pet store, but she makes this really, really high quality dog food. And it's because she has lived in the mountains for so long raising dogs, and she just noticed that they weren't getting their best health. And so she went and created food that served dogs that were living at high altitude and were really, really active, jumping from boulders and swimming in lakes. And her story resonated so well with Molly as the founder that Molly has continued to buy her food and have it shipped everywhere across the country that Molly is. And Molly has also told everybody about this.
I think the other thing on that, Lindsay, is the way that social media is going. Facebook is rewarding you for that. Facebook has put a big flag in the sand and said, we want you to build a community. We want you to create groups. We will show content to groups before all others. And I think we want, for your ads to work better, we want social proof. We want all that stuff there. And I think that when you create community, you create a movement. And when you create a movement, you attract people. And that's really, it might sound ridiculous if you're selling T-shirts. How do I create a movement? How do I create a community? But think of all those T-shirt companies out there that now have a story. If you buy one of our T-shirts, 20 cents of every T-shirt will go to, educating children in poor areas. Or, you had a great example the other day. Was it one of Molly's students? Was it something to do with a candle or
I was just gonna say this. It's their tagline is these candles feed children, and for every candle they sell, they buy 3 meals for children in this group children's home, I think in either India or Indonesia. But they were trying to write ads around the scents of the candles and the features and the factories they were made. And that was great. But Molly said, no, tell a story. Help these readers connect with the children that they're feeding. And I read it. So she posted in a Facebook group and said, guys, I updated my ad copy the way Molly told me to, and it's converting like crazy. Check out the social proof here. And I read the ad copy and it moved me so much. And I immediately went and bought a candle. I immediately did, because that makes you feel good about purchasing. And so especially if you think about it, I'm not sure about what the percentage is anymore. It changes so frequently, especially now that we have access to everything on mobile. But if you think about the percentage of people that are impulse buyers, the last thing you want, your goal is to make them not have buyer's remorse.
Exactly.
And if you can give them a reason to feel good about their purchase, whether or not they could even really afford it or whether they really needed it, you're doing so much already, and you're going to have repeat buyers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's personal stories. And then the other thing, touching on what Sonia's talking about with community and why this is not even just about writing blog posts. This can be about ad copy. This can be about your mission and your why, is that vulnerability is becoming so critical right now. You have to be authentic. And vulnerability means showing up and telling your story when you don't know how people are going to react to it, when you have no control over what happens. But people connect with authenticity. And so telling your personal story, and that could even be your before and after. So a case study I usually think of in terms of featuring your customer, featuring your client, that kind of thing. But a before and after is really kind of just, it's not telling as much of how they got there, but it's talking about their life. And it's the vulnerable and it's the authentic part of why you're doing what you did and how things have changed since you've been on this mission. So these are the ones that I think are the very best ones. Use as many real photos as you can in your advertising. I know native advertising is coming back a lot more now. People want to see real people, real surroundings. They don't want to see stock photos. If right now you're just like, hey, I'm getting started and stock photos is really all I've got, that's fine. Just look for people. Just look for people that look like the people you're trying to help. Don't do like the, a coffee cup and a pencil.
Yeah, exactly. People sell, people are attracted to people. And also Facebook is attracted to people. They want to see faces. And I think that a mediocre photograph you take yourself of people is far better than any stock photo that you can use of people. It's important.
Yeah, Russ Henneberry was on here with you guys a few weeks ago, and he just launched the next installment of his How to Build a Course series, and it's open to enrollment right now. And all of Russ's ads have been either selfies or pictures of him and his daughter or pictures of him speaking on stage.
Exactly. Yep.
It's so real. It connects you. You want to feel like there's a person on the end of that screen. So
you have to remember what we're trying to do is old-fashioned retailing and business. And it used to take place in a shop front where you would talk to people. And while everyone wants to automate everything and do all that, that's fine. Like, automate the hell out of this stuff. But remember that the top of the funnel, that's your most expensive part of the marketing equation. So you want to get the best bang for your buck. And so people are what drives that, the connecting. People are attracted to people like themselves, community of like-minded people. They want to feel safe. They want to feel like they belong. So the more they can understand who you are, who the clients are that you serve, what things look like, the more connected to you they will be, and the better frequency you'll get out of your advertising.
Yeah, absolutely. It just resonates. It's becoming so critical. I'm so glad that, I'm really glad that people are coming around to this, and especially like you said, the top of the funnel stuff. This is where it's really, really, really critical. Automate the hell out of everything, but you can't automate humans. Like we're not robots. So we have feelings. And so you really got to tap into that with your content. So
Exactly.
this is how I like to find ideas. This will be fun. And the tool at the end will be a game changer for everything if you're getting any amount of traffic. And if not, you can buy some, and that'll work too, because then Google will push you up in the rankings, and you'll start getting some organics. And if this seems a little too complicated, I'm going to give you some prompts at the end. So customer reviews and testimonials. This is a client I work with called Code and Quill. They sell notebooks and planners and now backpacks. But the notebooks are really where they got started. They launched on Kickstarter about 5 years ago. And so going through here, when we're talking about what kind of content they should be creating or what kind of ads they should be creating, I was looking through these and found a bunch of good ideas. So great paper, fairly fountain pen friendly, nice size and classy, decent price, overall really nice. Excellent paper for fountain pens, great layouts, lays flat, amazing quality. The first thing that obviously jumps out here is that a lot of people like the paper, and a lot of people are responding about fountain pens. So that gives me two different people that I know we're speaking to, because there's paper enthusiasts and then there are fountain pen enthusiasts. So in your customer reviews, and I love doing this with people, because what you think you're selling and what you think people are buying for may not be what people are buying for. For example, there's a brand I actually feature their screenshot in a second, called Anne-Marie Gianni, and they sell skincare products. I love buying their essential oils more than I like buying anybody else's essential oils, not because their essential oils are any different, but it's because they come in these really, really, really cute and durable canvas drawstring bags.
It's got nothing
to do with the product. It's entirely the packaging. Because that means that these bags are so cute and so durable. I can use them as little gift bags for people for other things. Right now we use one of them in the car for our change. And so I left a comment on there when I bought something that I said, and I love the bags that they come in. So it's really cool, because with this paper, with this notebook, you won't find on the Code and Quill site, it doesn't say fountain pen friendly or friend of fountain pens or anything like that. That's changing now. They're adding that in there, but that wasn't what they were selling it for. That's not someone they were making content for yet. That was just collateral. We found that out. And now we'll look at this in a minute, but I don't have the screenshot in here, but there's actually people got into a huge debate on one of Code and Quill's ads that was talking about the paper, that was talking about the product in general, but people started commenting about the paper of, oh, paper's paper, stop bragging about your paper. And then other people jumped in and said, no, not all paper is created equal. There's different pound paper, there's scratchy paper, there's smooth paper, there's paper that does everything. And one great comment that was just amazing to me was, if you think all paper is paper, try writing a novel on a piece of toilet paper. And I thought that was hilarious. And so now Code and Quill is coming out with ads that are geared towards engagement and community that say, join the paper debate below. What's your favorite kind of paper? Yeah.
Leave people debate that, but
oh my gosh, it was like 37 comments deep, people arguing about the best kind of paper.
wow, you can't get better social proof on something than that, can you?
Absolutely not. Yeah. And so customer reviews and testimonials, go through all of your reviews and your customer testimonials and see if you can pick out a common theme of what people are either bragging about, complaining about, saying they wish you had more of, or don't ever change this, and list those just as topics and see if you can kind of create a topic list of basically a fountain pen, paper, not even great paper, just paper, and start there. See what you can come up with in terms of topics from customer reviews. customer service questions and feedback. I love this image. It's terrible though. And, so your customer service is a great. I showed this example at a workshop last month, and it was amazing actually teaching this and showing this screen and waiting to see when people would read it, because when people have read this. And it took Russ the shortest amount of time. Russ kind of exploded and then was laughing about it like 10 minutes later. And, but this is great though. It's so funny. So Taco Bell now knows their food might make people sick, but it was worth it. And so your customer service questions and feedback are an amazing place to look for topics and questions. And the next slide, I think it's the next slide, we'll talk about the FAQ. And so if you have people asking questions, does your product or service do this? Does your product or service guarantee that? Will it help me achieve X, Y, and Z? Hey, I thought it would help me do X, Y, and Z, but instead it helped me do A, B, and C. Those are topics that you would want to write about because it's what your existing customers are speaking up about. And if you think about it, there's a very small percentage of your overall customers that take the time to write into customer service, except when they have a problem. But the good stuff especially, you want to pay attention to, because people never take the time to really, build companies up and say thank you. They just take the time to complain. So if you have people writing in about what good your product or service or business of any kind did for them, really, really look at what they're saying. Don't just say thank you and be happy and move on. Think about why. And you can even respond to those people and say, hey, I'm trying to learn more. Why did you expect my product to do this? Was it my sales copy or was it your assumption? And do you wish it had done this? That kind of thing. Engage with those and really try to pull just topics out of them. Amazon reviews. This one is amazing. So this was about, I believe it was called The Habit. It's about the habit. It might have been Brennan Burchard's book about habits. And I loved this. This is an amazing before and after. It's Free to Focus. It was a book. Before I was exposed to Free to Focus, I was a hot mess. So there's your before. My family and I just moved to a new city and state, and I had just started a new business. And the tasks on my to-do list were reaching the 20s and 30s almost every day. To say I was overwhelmed, overworked, and frustrated on a daily basis is an understatement. I had reached the place I said I'd never go again. Burnout. I felt like crap physically, mentally, and emotionally. That is some amazing source for ad copy. It's, you just say, you can say to, what avatar you're speaking to here. Are you feeling, do you feel bad physically, mentally, and emotionally? Is your to-do list reaching the 20s and 30s almost every today? Do you run out of today with plenty of to-dos left? This is an amazing, amazing review. And I think a lot of people worry that if they don't have a lot of reviews, they can't use this method. Go look at your competitors' reviews. So yes. For this is a book, Free to Focus. The reason I had found this is because working with Code and Quill, they were creating a planner. So it was geared more towards avoiding burnout, promoting more work-life balance, and helping people avoid those terrible feelings. And so what I went and did was look at books on Amazon that were around productivity and look at the reviews on how people were feeling before and after they read these books. Because the before were the avatars we were targeting with these planners. And the after is how we wanted to make them feel and what our sales copy on the benefits would talk about. But if we're looking to really connect with someone emotionally and write this kind of thing, these reviews are amazing. So absolutely go look at the back of, regardless of if you're selling a physical product or a service or something, I promise you someone's written a book about it. And go read the back of books. Amazon has that feature of look inside. Go look at the table of contents. People spend a crazy amount of time putting books together. Ask me how I know. And the table of contents are really, it's where it sells, because humans, when they're buying books, they read the back cover, then they read the inside flaps, then they go look at the table of contents. And so a lot of time is spent focusing on how clear, concise, and direct your table of contents is in books, because you really, really want to make sure that it speaks to exactly what the chapter is going to cover. And so if you're looking for inspiration on topics around selling productivity supplements, go look at a book on productivity and see what the table of contents promises, what it's teaching, because those are going to be some of your biggest benefits that your supplement can promote. So yeah, you got that. Go look at your competitors' Amazon reviews. Go look at reviews on books based on a product you're selling. It doesn't have to be yours. You're really just looking for inspiration here. And then FAQ. So the thing is about FAQ, no one ever made an FAQ that didn't want to cut down on customer service tickets. So that's that's something to know, that if you don't have an FAQ right now, go look at your competitors. Figure out what form their questions come in, because those are also probably geared really, really well to SEO. And it's also about questions that your competitor was getting from their customer service. And that means they got enough of those questions to put them in a frequently asked questions list. Because businesses, when they're talking about customer services, priority 1 is taking care of the customer, but priority 2 is answering as many tickets as you can while you're on the clock. And so having an FAQ page means that your customer service representative can say, hi, it's so nice to talk to you. I see you're struggling to have to get an answer about XYZ. We have this FAQ page and we answer your question right here. And they can link to it and even copy and paste it and then say, is there anything else I can help you with? Send. They just closed a ticket out. And so these questions in an FAQ page, those are great topics for what people are asking about. And so, yeah, and so if you haven't launched your business yet, and you're looking for inspiration around this kind of thing, definitely go look at your competitors' FAQ pages. And
what a great idea, Lindsay.
Thanks. I mean, these are great.
You are the swipe file queen.
I stalk the internet for swipe file stuff. My history makes no sense. Facebook is so confused on what ads to show me. I love it. I make Mark Zuckerberg work for his dollar.
I love it.
So definitely, yeah. FAQ pages, especially look at this, like what is the difference between dry and dehydrated skin? That is about as simple as it comes. It's like how to put on a bra. That is super direct and it is super informative, because I really would not know the answer to that, but I need to, because all of the moisture or all the moisturizers and skincare brands that I use are like for dry skin, for dehydrated skin. And I'm just like, well, which do I buy? This brand I would probably buy from because they actually answered the question for me.
Yes, definitely.
So then social media, that's another great one. So I talked a little bit earlier about the people fighting over the paper. And now this is another brand. And this is also where I say, make a swipe file, go get pixeled on your competitors' ads, these kinds of things. So I think it's Blanky. I really don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going to say Blanky. They are a brand creating leggings designed around motherhood. They create leggings that you wear during your pregnancy and postpartum. And then they say into motherhood. I don't really understand why that it wouldn't work for people not pregnant. I kind of looked at them. I was like, these look comfortable. Why not? But their audience that they want to target and help are mothers. And I think that's really respectable. And so their site left a lot to be desired in terms of answers. So I went to their ad, back to their ad, and read their comments here. And some of the questions here, are the hipsters also good for postpartum? Yes, that's perfect. How many people here ordered a small in these postpartum? I love the fit. So many people were talking about either saying, were these supposed to be meant for postpartum? Can I use them during postpartum? Are they only through pregnancy? And so if you're running ads and having a lot of people ask questions about, can they be used in this situation or in that situation? And your answer is consistently yes. That's a good topic for you to write about, because it means that that's one of your avatars that you're serving. That's an audience that you want to serve. Another example, I don't know if you guys have spoken to him. Nahal, I don't know how to say his last name, Kazim. He does a lot with Messenger. And I met him a couple weeks ago in Denver at a workshop. And he is working with a brand called Quora. And they are the very first brand selling UTI preventative supplements and shakes. And I've never heard of this before, but their ads were amazing. So when he told me he was working with them.
That's a very funny niche, isn't it?
Yes, it is, especially because it's so taboo.
Yeah.
Women don't often talk about UTIs. It's hush hush. Like, no one wants to talk about that. And so this woman, she made this brand because she was suffering from UTIs, and it was something that her daughter had inherited as well. And so the standard, just giving you guys all a little bit of information, the standard that we're all told is, oh, just drink cranberry juice. That's actually terrible for you because of the sugar. And so she created these supplements and these powder shakes that have no cranberry in them and are preventative. And so they're for women that frequently get UTIs that's out of their control, and it helps prevent symptoms from onsetting. So it's a really nice alternative besides going on actual medication from your doctor about it. And he was telling me that where they're struggling is that a lot of women are typing. So he told me about it. And the next question I asked him was, oh, does it work for interstitial cystitis, which is something I have, which just means that I have like ulcers on my bladder wall. And so I have
really getting personal now, Lindsay.
It's so relevant because he got excited and he was like, everybody asks that. And I said, really? And he said, everybody is commenting on their Facebook ads saying, does this work for IC? And I said, yeah, I bet. And I said, well, does it? And he said, the owner said it could. And I said, are you writing about that? And he said, no, not yet. And I said, you need to be. That is a huge, huge market of women that are underserved. Because so far, as someone who knows this, there has been no cure and no real consistent treatment for IC. It was something that you have to treat after you're going through a flare-up of it. And so I can totally understand why women are asking, does this also treat IC? But he said that their brand was so confused on what is this and can we actually treat it and should we create content around it? And I said, absolutely. And so now they're creating entire ads around this. So my point besides all the too much information is is one, don't offer me anything with cranberries if you see me. and two, look in the Facebook comments of your competitors and of similar products and services and see what questions people are asking on social media, see what people are saying that this helped them with, see if there's a topic in there that you can write about from an expert point of view, even if it's something you decided not to actually have your product serve. Like Elvis, I told you guys they don't serve men. They're specifically for women, and they planted their flag on that because they were getting a lot of comments about, do you guys not help men? And they were like, no, we only help women. I mean, we'll help you if you really want us to, but our system is designed to accommodate the earning curve in women over their lifetime. And so, and so think about that and create content around that. Podcasts are another great place to do it. So social media is a great one. And then Quora, Reddit, and Medium. These are all places just because everybody has an opinion and they're sharing it. I don't love, in actuality, my swipe file has the least from these places because it's just, I think it gets too off track. But I know John Grimshaw, who you guys will see in Australia, he absolutely loves Quora for research. So then the next one, and I know we're counting down, but the next tool is my favorite. And if you guys don't have Google Search Console set up, absolutely do it after this call. It takes about 30 seconds to do. You sign up, it's free. You sign up on Google Search Console. They tell you to go place a piece of text in, I think, the DNS settings of your website. So send the instructions to your developer if you have one and you don't have access to that. And then it verifies it. And Google Search Console is kind of the redheaded stepchild of the whole Google Analytics suite.
So that makes it almost Prince Harry.
Yes, basically it is the Prince Harry, and it doesn't get nearly enough love, but it is, it is one of the most powerful tools that you'll ever access. And so we'll look at it, and this is why, because Google Search Console tells you how people are finding your website. The keywords that they're searching to find your website, the phrases they're searching to find your website and to find your content. And the best thing is about this, if you use this to create topics, not just optimize your existing content for keyword, but if you're using Google Search Console to look for topics to write about in your ad copy or hooks on your landing page, is that all of these suggestions are already qualified. Google has qualified them for you. Cold traffic has already found you using these keywords and phrases and have clicked on your site because of that. So these are the kind of ones that are guaranteed to work.
Wow.
Yeah, so for Gabby, obviously what I like to do is go into Google Search Console, pull up your query report, and section out, exclude any branded keywords. So like your brand name, or for Gabby, she most often goes by Gabby. So I pulled Gabby out of here. But Gabby Bernstein still showed up. But what her audience was also searching for was Kundalini meditation and curtain kriya and spirit guides. And so this informed us what kind of content we needed to be creating and what kind of podcast she needed to be creating. And of course, she created courses around Kundalini meditation based on this, and it sold. And it sold really well to cold traffic.
But even that phrase, the universe has your back, I mean, it's 10% of the clicks. You know, it's a fantastic piece of content, isn't it? You know, like it's,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Miracle Membership here is her continuity product. And so this is showing where people are connecting. And so here's a tip that what you guys want to do is if you are going through this and you're looking at this in terms for actual content you want to create, and you're looking for keywords that are not branded and are more relevant to you. So female investing or framing, custom framing would be a FrameBridge one. Look for ones that have low impressions and high clicks, because those are people that are taking more action, and it's a more qualified keyword. It's not necessarily more long tail, but it's a more qualified keyword. So low impressions, high clicks. And then here's another one for Code and Quill again. This was so interesting. So custom notebooks they were getting, which was fine because they sell them. And the monolith here is a notebook. The habit and habit system are there is the planner. But then this one was so fascinating. Handwriting styles, different types of handwriting, fountain pen writing. So we found this at the beginning of 2018, and the content team created a couple pieces of content. One of them was the beginner's guide to fountain pens. Another one was the 5 different styles of handwriting. And those posts, in the first quarter of them going live with no traffic to them, I think they generated about 30 visits each from Google. And then as of this year, this quarter, for the same duration year over year, it's generating about 500 organic search visits from Google. That's 500 free visits.
That's like that at $1 a click. That's like $500 there and there, and it'd be a lot more than $1 a click, I would imagine, in that domain.
Yeah. It's huge, using these to just create topics. So we already knew for Code and Quill, based on the reviews that people were using these with fountain pens and they liked them. But this one combined it, fountain pen writing. So that was huge. So that was able to talk about the different kinds of ink the fountain pens use and different types of handwriting. And so people talked about the cursive and block style and everything. And it was really interesting to see that a company that was selling notebooks was generating interest based on how people were actually writing in them, that people have interest in the way other people do things. Everybody wants to know about the different ways that people are writing things and how to change their handwriting styles. Another one they created that was just fun was they found an app that turns your handwriting into a font that you can use on your computer. And so they created a how-to post on how to turn your handwriting into a font using this app. So that one is how-to, it is entertaining, it is informing, and it's just giving value. And the conversions on that one are so surprising because they're pushing someone else's app, but people go and buy their notebooks off of it.
That's fantastic. In this day and age, you could probably do a course on how to learn how to write with a pen.
Yes, absolutely. I had that realization the other day while we were moving and I was writing things out and I was just like, my penmanship has just gotten so poor over the last couple of years just because I've spent so much time on the computer. So that was definitely something like how to improve your penmanship. That is definitely something I would Google and be interested in. So if anyone here is selling pens, that's a great course. That's like an outside topic that your audience is probably interested in.
Yeah.
And so now we'll just go through these prompts real quick. You guys can take screenshots too. So this one is around solving a problem. And so if you can answer any of these questions, which I'm sure you guys can because you're experts when it comes to your field, you have 5 pieces of content right here, 5 angles that your ad can take, 5 different things that you can talk about on video, on social media. This is just something, these are just prompts that just anyone in your audience is going to be interested in if you're trying to get them interested into your product. The next one, explain your industry. This has you kind of put your authority on display. And really what I like to tell people when they're creating top of funnel content is that your job is to take expert information and distill it into beginner understanding. And I think that's what trips people up is that they want to show how expert they are about things, but they don't realize that people want to read things in a very beginner way because no one says, I want to learn how to fly a kite and then goes and buys a book on aerodynamics. No one does that. They go look for how to build a kite. Like, what materials do I need to build a kite? What steps do I take to build a kite? No one's trying to, the first thing when someone starts a hobby or is looking for a product, they're not trying to become an expert at it. They're not trying to understand why the kite stays in the air. They just want the kite to stay in the air. So your job is to tell them how the kite stays in the air. And then once they've converted, once they've bought from you, that kind of thing, then you show them just how much you know. So this is this. And then reveal your secrets. This is where you get vulnerable. This is them getting to connect with something more than a business. This is them getting to connect with more than just a brand. This comes down to your why. Do you know why you're selling those t-shirts? Do you know why you're selling candles to feed kids? And then just because there is so much smoke and mirrors out in the world, if you're telling people, if Tom's Shoes had said, we just really like giving kids shoes, no one would have believed them. But instead, the founder of Tom's had to show, here is the last time that I went and worked with homeless children. Here is where I went and I was measuring the feet of children. Here's where I went and asked kids, what is it you wish you had most of all? The answer wasn't toys, it was shoes. This is where you connect with people on a personal level so that they can connect with your business on more than just a business level.
So true.
Mm-hmm. And then this is the important stuff. So once you're ready to create some content, this will be quick. Once you're ready, the topic matters so very much. But then once you've put it down on paper, on video, on anything you're doing, there are a few things that you need to remember that is going to make them convert. And these are just a few of the things. If I'm working with any client and they're saying my stuff's just not converting and it's content, this is where I go look. And so the first thing is, like I said, remember what the intention of the piece of content is and what is it you absolutely want them to do, and are you measuring it correctly? Did you want them to read more content? Did you want them to download a lead magnet and give you their email address? Was it buying a low dollar product like your tripwire? Was it becoming aware of your product offerings? Was it becoming aware of a membership or subscription model? Remember, Gabby, her thing that she's selling the most is her continuity membership and the miracle membership, but she gets them in but with her meditation albums, and then she upsells them. She doesn't say beginner's guide to meditation, hey, buy my continuity membership. She says, sign up for my free meditation albums. And if you like that, I have a continuity membership where you can get updated meditation audio every month. And then say that you're just getting started and you don't really know what you want people to do yet. Tell them to connect with you on social. Tell them to like your page on Facebook. Tell them to read another piece of content. Tell them just to take some action. What really matters is the action that you want them to take, deciding what a conversion means in your mind first. That's not just a blank purchase. It's a specific action, and then making sure that it's congruent. Because the biggest mistake that business owners make is by giving people tons of content around how to fly a kite and then making your CTA buy this pound of kitty litter. Like it has to make sense. A CTA, a call to action, your call to action should always be the next logical step in the journey that they should take with you. Not the biggest step, not the step that will pay the bills tonight. It is, what is the next logical step? What is the most painless step they can take with you that you've made them want to take because you've created desire there? And so you want to, with anything you're doing, including ad copy, including blog posts, social posts, anything like that, these are just a few things. Keeping it easy on the eyes, the headline, being clear. Remember, not cute, complete. Remember how to put on a bra. The introduction from the wedding photos is, we believe all couples should be able to show off their favorite moments at their wedding. The transitions. First, we're going to tell you how to build a kite. Now we're going to tell you how to get it up in the air. If this doesn't make sense to everybody, the California roll, it's not sushi. In the States, people, when there's a stop sign, you're supposed to come to a full stop. But what most people get pulled over for at stop signs is what's called a California roll. They roll through the stop sign. They don't ever actually stop completely. In this case, you want a California roll. And then the format. Big paragraphs intimidate people. It dissuades people. Remember that you are, the most precious thing someone can give you is their time and money. And if they haven't yet converted, they're giving you their time. And so you want to make them feel like it's worth it. So break it up with bullets, lists, numbers, block quotes. Make it really enjoyable on their eyeballs. And then, yeah.
Call to action. Call to action, call to action.
Yes, you need multiple CTAs. You don't want to wait until you get to the very end of something before you ask them to take the next step. Keep seeding those in there to where it's logical. And then this was just a bonus if you guys wanted it. Headline formulas. These are some of my favorites: self-interest, pique curiosity, urgency and scarcity, issue a warning, borrowing authority, revealing the new. And then here are some examples if you guys just want to take a screenshot. And then
we can, you'll be able to download this. We'll email.
Okay, cool.
And maybe Lindsay, if you can shoot me the deck when you're finished, we can
absolutely
the email, no problem at all.
Absolutely. So there are some examples, and then we made it, y'all.
Russ. Touchdown. Well,
Yeah.
Lindsay, that was an hour of absolute jam-packed information, and no, the way that you can make content a step-by-step way that people can follow it is just an absolute gift. It is your superpower. We do have some time for questions if anybody's got any. There's a few of you obviously have to start going, but just drop them in the chat box if you've got any. Otherwise, Lindsay's on Facebook. You can find her. She's also going to be...
I'm in the DMDU group.
She is in the DMDU group. If you're not already there, just by coming to our events, you would have received an invitation, or otherwise look for Digital Marketers Down Under Connect. DMDU Connect is the Facebook group. So Lindsay, you're coming out for August 23rd, 24th for Digital Marketers Down Under, DMDU, on the Gold Coast. And we have a special bonus. If you use the promo code LMDMU, all lowercase, think of Lindsay Marder, LMDMU, you will not only be able to get the tickets at this early bird rate, which is available until the 30th of June, you'll get another $200 off those tickets. So if you're on the fence about coming, if you want to hear more from people like Lindsay, Russ, the man on our screen, Molly Pittman, we've just announced this week that we have special presentations coming to us live from the US from Ryan Dice and Ezra Firestone. We now also have Nikki Parkinson, Grace Lever, Ralph Burns, John Grimshaw. We are covering the full gamut of digital marketing on at the Gold Coast, and we want to see you there. How do we get a copy of the deck? Will you email it to attendees? Yes, Jennifer. You'll get an email from us later today with a link to download the video, and Lindsay's going to shoot you the deck, and I will add that into the email. But Lindsay, thank you for your time today. We've got another question. Thank you. This is a great 1 hour session, was very beneficial. Thought the information was self-explanatory, simple. It was amazing when someone sums it up and makes it easy to understand. Thanks, Inika. We appreciate that feedback, and we definitely appreciate you, Lindsay Marder. And I cannot wait to give you a big squeeze when you get here in August and spend some time with us. So thank you again for giving so generously of your time.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in August. Everybody, thank you. Don't forget promo code LMDMU, and you will score another $200 off the price of the tickets. And at the moment, the price is is available until the 30th of June. So have a great day, Lindsay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. Thank you, Sonia, for having me.
My pleasure. See ya. Bye.
Bye.